Hey everybody, my name is Tristan, welcome back to L-Space, and today I am responding to a tag video. This is the In Your Wildest Dreams tag, and I was tagged by Gavin over at Genre Books, and this tag was originally created by Heather Reeds. And this tag is all about your fantasies, your ideal situations for reading, book paraphernalia, etc. It's fun. I was excited to respond to it. So here are my answers. I'm sorry the lighting is a little weird. I feel like I'm like underlit. Um, the there's a the sun is low in the sky, and so my floor is reflecting up a bunch of light, and so that's why I look like I'm in a scary movie, and I've got like a flashlight underneath my face. But anyway, um, so there are 5 prompts, including the 6th one, which is to tag others, and those will just be in the description box down below. But the first prompt is your fantasy time and place to read a book. And this one, I don't know, I'm really not picky about where I read. I I would say that it's on a beach, but at the same time, you can see my complexion. It's not exactly the most sun friendly. I definitely burn very easily, very quickly. So being on a beach is more or less not an ideal situation for me for spending a lot of time outside without going through like 12 gallons of sunscreen. So I think that my ideal reading situation, my fantasy reading situation, is just a place where I can sit and not be disturbed by anything. Um, that's kind of it. Like, my fantasy is the ability to read and not be distracted or have my attention drawn away from my book, or have like obligations that I have to go to. That's really the fantasy, is just not having to do anything else except for read. Um, but I guess like if I were to come up with a really specific place, I think like a seaside cottage that's like on the rocks, and it's like very dark wood. The only light is firelight. It's dusk or early morning, and you can hear the waves crashing on the rocks. I think that would be pretty cool. I love the ocean, so anything that can any of ambiance of that is great for me. The second prompt is your fantasy personal library, or your personal library if you have attained your fantasy library. Um, I think I don't ask much. I don't ask much. Because I just want a room that I can dedicate to a library. I don't want, like, I don't need a whole ton of stuff. I think just like my dream is to just have a room in my apartment or my home that is just dedicated to books. Um, if I can outfit it with like a secret bookcase or like a secret entrance to where it's a hidden room, otherwise that would be cool. But I just want to have my a room dedicated to books that has a nice view of something outside. That's all I'm asking for. I know that these are like your fantasies, but really, it's all I need. It's all I need. It's all I want. So that is really my fantasy library, is just a dedicated room, that has nothing else in it except for a nice chair, some nice lighting, and bookshelves all over the room. So the next prompt, the third prompt, is imagine you have decided to build a bookshop. What would you call it? Would it sell new or secondhand books? Would it sell anything else? What features would you want in that shop? I think that anybody who has spent significant time in bookstores, who spends a significant amount of their time reading, uh, definitely thinks about what it would be like to open up a bookshop, and I'm certainly not alone in that. I certainly join the crowd. So my bookstore would actually have the same name as this channel. My bookstore would be called L Space Books, and it would be, um, if you've ever been to Seattle, there is a bookstore in Fremont called Ophelia's Books, and I think that bookstore in particular has the coolest vibe I have ever seen of any like small bookstore, you know. Um, and I think ideally that's kind of the vibe I would go for. So they have a nice like loft up on top, and then a back area on the first floor that is light wood paneling. It's very like cozy and warmly lit, and then it has a spiral staircase leading down into a basement, which is where they keep like all of their fantasy and thrillers and things like that. And I think that's really cool. That's more or less what I would want mine to be like. And I think also having a little bit of like a cafe space is every book nerd's bookworm's dream. So I will put that in there as well. Okay, so the next prompt is one person, not a booktube creator, with whom you can have a good conversation about books. And this one's pretty easy because I fortunately have a lot of really good friends that like books. So my partner being one of them, as well as a couple other of my friends in my close circle. I also have a book club that I'm part of that we talk about books together, and that's great. I've done buddy reads with my mom a few times. A couple years ago. It's something that we did during the pandemic to kind of keep in contact and do something fun between the two of us and keep ourselves busy, etc. So that was fun. And those, yeah, I think that's pretty much who I talk about books with. It's just people in my immediate circle, which I'm fortunate to have. All right. So the last prompt is, if you won $1 million, because I'm in America, so I would have dollars, and you could only spend it on books or book related items, how would you spend it? Well, I think that's easy for me. It would be the bookshop, or building my library, etc. I think a bookshop loosely enough counts as a book related item. It's fine. Yeah, we'll just go with that. So yeah, the bookshop. That's how I would spend $1 million is opening the bookshop. Especially in the neighborhood I'm currently in, because there is no bookshop, and that is a very depressing thing. But yeah, I wouldn't want to open it here because I don't really like Boston. But wherever I end up permanently, that would be fun. So that's it for the prompts. I will be tagging people down in the description box below, as I said. The only person that I will mention and that I have on the top of my mind right now is, of course, Catherine over at Raspberry Reads. You're my go-to taggy, so you're up. But otherwise, everyone else will be tagged in the description box. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back very soon for another video. Thanks. Bye.